All right, so I watched the Oprah interview with the when Oprah interviewed the Duchess of Thots, which I'm going to go back to referring to her as, and the Duke of Cucks, which I'm also going to go back to referring to him as Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, um, which was a very unfortunate. I had the misfortune of having to watch that interview. I'm still suffering from that. I'm still going through the negative side effects of that interview. It was a painful, torturous affair. But I went through it because I know what the Duchess of Thoughts or the Duke of Cucks are trying to do. They're trying to create a situation whereby people like myself get censored for talking about them. And they're going to use all kinds of charged language. They're going to use the race card. I mean, um, they're going to probably spread lies, which I think most of that interview was lies, and I'll get into that. I mean, for Meghan to use this race card so genocidally, I mean, honestly, I don't even think that. First of all, look, Meghan is not even really black. Okay, let me just say that right there. I don't care what y'all want to say. She was raised by the white side of her family. I don't even think she even identified as being black in any way until very recently. But we won't even get into that right now. We won't get into that. I'm not going to get into that right now. But let me go step by step on each point that I saw and critique it point by point. First of all, the Duchess of Thoughts said that her life, and I remember this part of the interview very clearly. She stated that her life inside the royal family was similar to the China virus lockdowns. And that part kind of pissed me off. And the reason it pissed me off is because you got people out there, because of this China virus lockdowns, illegal lockdowns, I might add, who have lost their jobs, who have lost their businesses, who have been assaulted and abused by the police for the smallest China virus lockdown infraction, who have criminal records now, who have become suicidal because of these lockdowns and have killed themselves. And Meghan is comparing being a duchess to the lockdowns. I mean, she states that, you know, she was pressured not to go out with her friends, and she was trapped inside the palace, and it's almost like she's talking about being a prisoner. She was trapped in the palace for 3 days out of the month, and all of this. So first of all, listen, I don't believe that the Queen or Prince Charles or any of those people are going to lock any member of the royal family up in some tower and tell them they can't go anywhere. I mean, they're going to persuade you not to go anywhere and stuff like that and blah, blah, blah. But you can go. You can go. If you want to go see your friends, you can go see your friends. You want to go see Serena Williams, you want to go do what you want to go. You don't know who's stopping you. Ultimately, this woman can do whatever the hell she wants to do, and she's proven that. All right. I mean, I don't know where that came from. Y'all saw that part of the interview? Who watched the interview, by the way? I watched it on the internet, of course. And she's there saying, "Oh, I couldn't go anywhere and all this sort of stuff, and I felt like I was in lockdown." What does she think is going to happen if she decides she wants to go see her friends for, a drink or something like that? Is she going to be shot? Or come on, man. So those are the minor things that irritated me about that interview. Now let's get on to the more major things. On one hand, the Duchess of Thought said that the Queen was incredibly welcoming to her, and the whole family was welcoming to her, every time the Queen and her were inside the vehicle that they would take to go to royal events and all this sort of stuff, the Queen would wrap her up in blankets and all kind of stuff. You all saw that. The Queen would wrap her up in blankets. Here, take some of my blankets. It's cold. Take some of my. I, I don't know if the Queen's car doesn't have heat or something. I don't know but that's the thing. And then on the other hand, the Duchess of Thots is saying that there were members of the royal family who were worried about how dark Archie was going to be. I don't believe that. I don't believe that for one moment. And I'll tell you, anybody who believes that is a moron. And of course, there are going to be a lot of people who believe it because, these guys like to play the victim card. But I don't believe that for a moment. Listen, and I have dated white folk before. I've dated white girls before who come from racist families. If a family, and to be perfectly honest with you, I have members in my family who don't want us dating or marrying outside of our race. And I'll tell you this. Anybody who is concerned about their grandchild or great-grandchild or nephew or future niece or whatever being too dark or not looking enough like their race is not going to be as welcoming as Meghan claimed they were, with the Queen sharing her blanket and all this sort of stuff and giving her diamond rings and diamond earrings and all this sort of matching necklace and all this sort of stuff. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen at all. They're not going to be, they'll keep their distance. And I do believe the royal family is welcoming her. And I'm not a royal fan. You know that, right? I'm not a royal fan. I think they're all pedophiles. I think they associate with pedophiles. I mean, Prince Andrew, uh, uh, Jimmy Savile. I think the Queen has a lot of questions to answer about those missing Indian children from Canada. I don't like the royal family. I think they are a big arm of the New World Order. Um, at the very least, they should get the hell out of Canada. Stop this colonial nonsense. Get the hell out of Canada. Throw them out of here. Throw them out of Canada and all those other countries. But throw them out of Canada too, because that's my country. I don't want to. I'm not a royal fan, but I'll tell you this: I don't like people like Meghan even more. And for Meghan, this woke, leftist, Hollywood piece of trash, foreign American coming into Britain, trying to change up their system. As much as I don't like the royal family, I actually feel sorry for them in this case. I do. I'm telling you. It's like Meghan thought she could just come into the royal family, come into England, turn the system upside its head, and people won't dare criticize her because she's half black and she'll use the race card if you criticize. You don't dare criticize because I'll use that race card. I'll use that race card. She thought she was just going to come in there, bully everybody, change up everything, tell everybody what's what, and you don't dare criticize. I mean, I remember some part of the interview where she's like, the royal family didn't help her with the media. And the media kept criticizing me and criticizing me and criticizing me and hounding me, and nobody did anything to. Listen, the media criticized everybody in the royal family. Look at how much they look at Prince Andrew. I mean, look at Prince Andrew. Look at Prince Charles. Look at Camilla. Look at Prince Philip. All of them get criticized. And I don't see the royal family or Buckingham Palace saying anything about them. I mean, look at the bashing Prince Andrew has gotten, rightfully so. Prince Philip, when he had that accident, the bashing he got. Prince Charles, look at the bashing he's gotten in the past and still continues to get. Prince Charles, he has gotten whooped, lynched by the media. Camilla, my God, the amount of abuse Camilla has gone through. And the royal family, that's just how it is. Their motto is never complain, never explain. And Meghan comes up in there and thinks that the whole system is supposed to revolve around her. Can you imagine this? And if you dare don't do anything, I mean, this is what people don't like about her. What did she expect the royal family to do with the media? Round them all up and put them in the Tower of London? I mean, I think she thinks that the royal family can do that, and I think that's what she wanted to do. And that's why I continue to say that Harry and Meghan, what they're trying to do is whip up so much false anger that people will expect the big tech companies and the censors and all this stuff to, to do what they do to people who criticize the 2020 election, or things like men going into women's bathrooms, or if they criticize LGBT, or they criticize any of those hot topics. What they're trying to do is anybody who criticizes Meghan or the Duke of Cox, Harry, will be deemed as so evil that they need to be censored. Arana Nation will be censored. Pierce Morgan will be censored. Yankee Wally will be censored. Anybody who criticizes Meghan in the slightest, it's going to be one of those new you can't touch issues. It's going to be one of those new sensitive issues that you just can't touch, otherwise you'd be censored. That's what they're trying to do. I'm telling you, that's what they're trying to do. That's why I'm speaking out about. You notice I haven't been messing with Meghan and Harry ever since they wanted to become private citizens. Because Arana Nation doesn't want to go after people who don't want attention. But now they want attention. So I'm going to go back after them now. And let me tell you why me personally, and probably a lot of other people, didn't like Meghan. First of all, I don't like any member of the royal family, so I was skeptical about some, I'm thinking to myself, what's this foreigner doing in this family here? But that was minor. But then she really started to grate on my nerves. And one of the things I really didn't like about her was the fact that how disloyal and narcissistic she was. And how she just doesn't get along with anybody. And the fact that anybody who no longer serves a purpose for her just gets banished from her life. She does it to her father. She's done it to countless friends. I mean, her ex-husband, the way she broke up with him, the way she divorced him. I mean, I'm not against divorce, but the way she did it by sending back, and she hasn't disputed this, sending back the engagement ring in the mail with a letter saying, it's over, don't talk to me anymore, and taking his blender because she found Prince Harry. She don't need him anymore. I mean, that's the type of person this woman is. It's like she's disloyal, she's narcissistic, she's arrogant. It's all about her. And I honestly think she lied about that thing that the royals questioned how dark Archie would be. I think she's actually sick. I think they should have put her in a mental. I'm telling you, I think and I know people who like her. I know people like her. People are gonna say in the comments, like, "You don't know her. What do you criticize?" I know of her. I know her like. There are people like her in my family. I know exactly the kind of woman she is. And she's sitting there saying how she was lonely and how she was depressed and how she wanted to kill herself. I'll tell you this, before I lay any sympathy on Meghan, my sympathy is going to remain with her father, Thomas. When's the last time she called him? When's the last time she asked about how he was doing? When's the last time she said, let's rekindle our relationship? I saw in part of that interview where she said, "Oh, I lost my dad." You're the one who threw your dad out of your life, fool. I mean, her dad has been on television day after day after day pleading with her to rekindle their relationship, pleading with her you saw her, you saw him. He was on Good Morning Britain. He was on all these different programs, pleading with her to rekindle their relationship. And she just wants to pretend like he doesn't exist. He writes her letters. He tries to call her. He tries to text her. And she ignores him. And when he complains about it, because his heart is breaking, he's hurting, she wants to turn it back around on him and make herself out to be the victim. What a disgusting human being. And she claims she lost him. She didn't lose him. She knows where to find him. He's waiting for her with open arms. He hasn't even met Prince Harry. You know, one of the things I don't like about this guy, and this is why I call him the Duke of Cucks, he didn't have the courage to stand up to Meghan and say, listen, I don't care what you say. I want to go down and meet your father and personally ask to marry his daughter. Not over the phone, not over text, personally. That's what a man does. Stop this 21st century nonsense. I don't care. Oh, I got daddy issues. I don't want to see my dad. I don't want to see him. I don't want to. He upset me. He upset me. He did something. I don't know what it was, but he upset me. I don't want to see him. Harry should have said, shut up. No, I'm going down there to Mexico. And I am going to see him because I want to marry you. And I want to personally ask your daddy to marry his daughter. I don't care what you say. That's what the man does. Stop this 21st century nonsense about treating your dad with contempt and all this foolishness. I'm going down there. And if you got a problem with it, then it's over. But Harry is thinking with a very different brain. And it's not the brain up here. It's the brain down there. And I'll tell you this. I heard that the Duchess of Thots and the Duke of Cucks, they're having a daughter. Well, at this point, I can say that Harry's life is completely over now. Because when that daughter is born, Meghan is going to train that girl to treat Harry the same way Meghan treats her own father, with contempt. If Harry does the slightest thing that irritates this little girl, she'll be trained by Meghan to give him the silent treatment, to ignore him, to hurt him, despite the fact that he might give his daughter everything in the world and make her what she is, just like Meghan's daughter did. Meghan's father did. She will train that girl to think that the world revolves around her, and anybody who irritates you or who does something mildly to upset you or who makes the slightest mistake or just you don't have any need for, banish them out of your life. Because that's the 21st century way. That's the spoilt way. That's the woke way. That's the new age feminist way. That's what Meghan is going to train that girl to do to Harry. And she's probably going to train Archie to do the same thing. And then Archie's going to grow up with many different psychological problems and all different kind of things because he's being trained by his mama to disrespect his daddy. That's what I predict. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm predicting. I'm predicting that Archie's going to grow up to have major psychological disorders. He's going to grow up confused because his mama is such a powerful figure that she's going to train that boy and that future girl to be exactly like her. What a shame. What a shame. I mean, there's probably other things that I can think of about that interview, but by the way, Oprah has gained some weight, man. I mean, look, I'm not fat shaming her. My God, man, Oprah. I mean, anyway, let me stop right there. Um, Man, that interview was a headache to watch. That was disgusting. And as I said, I'm not a royal fan, but in this case, I feel bad for them because I know now what they're going to try to do. They're going to use this race thing And again, I don't know when since Meghan decided that she was going to just embrace the black side of her, because she's never done that. She's never done that. She's never even thought of herself as black. First of all, she never was raised by her black mama. Never. She was raised by her white father and her white family. The same family that she's now trying to bash and ignore and all this sort of stuff. Ignore and pretend doesn't exist. The same father who used his money and his influence to get her into show business and to make her what she is today. I don't think she even identified as black until now, when it can, when she can use it as a weapon. It's insulting to me as a black man, proud black man, that people just want to use blackness as a weapon. I hate the fact that my people are being used by white folk as weapons. We are not weapons for white people. We're a proud race with proud histories. We've gone through so much suffering because of white folk and because of ourselves. We've had good times, we've had bad times, but then white people love to use us as their weapons, their political weapons, and that pisses me off. It really, really does. And what pisses me off even more is the fact that there are many of my people who allow white people to do it. They allow white people to do it. And I'm not blaming white people. I'm not saying, don't forgive me. This isn't racist. I'm just saying how I feel. I feel that the establishment, the media, the politicians, Hollywood, Meghan, the Duchess of Thots, Markle, the royal Prince Harry, it's like they don't embrace us because they like us. They only embrace us because when they want to use us as weapons, and that's the part that angers me. Because I am not your weapon, Meghan. My family's not your weapon. My people are not your weapon. Stop weaponizing us. Stop using our history and our pain for your benefit. You are a sick woman. You're a sick individual. And I have contempt for you. And I don't sympathize with you in the slightest. Not your weapon. I'm not Joe Biden's weapon either, because I know he does the same thing too. All these left-wing politicians do this. Anyway, before I say something I can't regret, I can't take no more. This is